Braun Strowman brutally trolled the toxic internet wrestling community, and it worked. Almost too well.
Hold up. It's a black-owned business in the wrestling business? Pro wrestling bits, let's go!
This past weekend, Braun Strowman took to South African Twitter to put over his match against Omos at WWE Crown Jewel, all while subtweeting the internet wrestling community and what he calls Flippy Floppers. Said Braun, quote,
"Holy hell, Omos, can you believe we got 47 stars and reminded people that no one cares about all these floppy floppers? Giants and monsters greater than Flippy Flipper, bag your groceries at Krogers. Hashtag AirportTest. Hashtag SizeisThePrize. Hashtag swole is a goal."
Let's go! Right now, at the top of this page, Braun even has a clip of himself doing the Flippy Floppy. Drop that shit. Oh, look at that Flippy monster. Strowman's tweets are an obvious troll job that was solely designed to needle the giant-phobic internet wrestling monolith. It's almost like he worked with a PR firm to strategically hit every trigger point that sets these hardcores off. The only thing missing was a shot at Tony Khan, the internet wrestling zaddy. The IWC likes their wrestlers like they like their temperaments, short and flying all over the place. Braun only sent that tweet to screw with the people who take their pro wrestling too seriously, and when I tell you this worked like a Krogers employee, let's be clear, Braun Strowman is hardly the babyface in this scenario, but neither is the IWC. I don't know which IWC you're familiar with, but I'm black, so chances are I have an entirely different experience. In addition to wrestling Twitter, I dabble in black Twitter, comic book Twitter, NFL Twitter, NBA Twitter, stand-up comedy Twitter. And believe me when I say, the supermarks of wrestling Twitter are more toxic than the bottom of all these fan bases combined. To quote Matt Jackson, wrestling has the most toxic fan base in the world. So toxic, there are legit racists within the wrestling media who have actual footage of their racism clearly documented. Yet not only are they allowed to have a platform within the IWC, they get invited to fake AEW media scrums by the internet wrestling zaddy himself. Seriously, if you're the Ku Klux Klan and you start a pro AEW blog called the Ku Klux Cons, you might get credentialed. This isn't the big bully Braun Strowman picking on the poor, defenseless internet wrestling community. It's more like if two people who stormed the same state capitol got into a fist fight. You kind of hope they both knock each other the f*** out. It's like a debate between Herschel Walker and Dr. Oz, or a car accident between a Prius and a Tesla. I hope everybody involved is okay, but f*** them two self-righteous cars, they can get totaled. If this is a lesser of two evils situation, I'm definitely Team Braun. If you are looking for somebody else to pile on Braun Strowman because he's flip shaming, go cry with the rest of the monolith. I think for myself on this channel. And while I do enjoy Flippy Floppy wrestling, I also don't get triggered into a blind rage when people make fun of it, because hardcore wrestling is not my identity. The internet wrestling community is filled with passionate fans who enjoy a variety of wrestling styles, and there's nothing wrong with that. But this is the Elon Musk era of South African Twitter, where cyberbullying is more legal than ever. So the IWC is also comprised of grown adults with nothing better to do but hate tweet their favorite racial slurs in defense of hardcore wrestling. Unluckily for them, Braun is white. Like very white. So let's just be glad Omos didn't send a tweet like that. Can you imagine Omos's mentions if that was the case? As a fellow African who has pissed off these swamp people of wrestling with my honest opinion, and I can't wait to do it again by the way, nobody will take your DMs from zero to nigger quicker than the IWC. But Braun Strowman's rage-baiting tweet worked almost too well. Because it wasn't just the IWC who weighed in with their fury, it was also some of his own peers and even legends. Let's talk about today's sponsor, Let's Get Checked. Let's Get Checked makes professional health testing easy by letting you get tested without having to visit a healthcare provider. You can order a testing kit that will be delivered to you in discreet packaging. Once your sample arrives in the laboratory, confidential results will be available from your secure online account within 2 to 5 business days. These results are reviewed by a clinician, and a member of the Let's Get Checked nursing team may call you to review your results. I just ordered the Let's Get Checked testosterone testing kit, and I will let you know my results as soon as they are available so that the entire world knows how much of a man I really am. Or it could be, who knows? Let's Get Checked laboratories are CLIA approved and CAP accredited, which are the highest ranking levels of accreditation. So if you want to avoid an uncomfortable office visit and get tested at home, visit trylgc.com/pro-wrestling-bits for 25% off your test using the code WRESTLING25, also linked in my description. Chris Jericho, Ricochet, Mustafa Ali, and reigning king of the Flippy Floppers, Will Ospreay, all hit back at Braun. Mustafa Ali double backflipped into Braun's mentions by making fun of Braun for getting fired. Ricochet pirouetted onto South African Twitter to mock Braun for threatening to sue because he was asked to stand on a scale. Okay. Jericho proudly admitted to bagging groceries in the past. Get it how you live, king. And Ospreay was a bit more diplomatic in his approach. Quote, "Why are you mad about making money?" tweeted Ospreay in midair. Flippy Floppy Gate wasn't just limited to Twitter either, because AEW, which has never met an internet controversy it didn't exploit, featured a dog-whistling promo from Jeff Jarrett, who dissed Braun Strowman's red skinny jeans, all while calling him a make-believe monster. Jarrett has gotten checks from just about every wrestling promoter in 2022, but it doesn't look like he'll be getting a payoff from Control Your Narrative anytime soon. Braun Strowman created a lot of attention for himself on South African Twitter, and with enough cyberbullying and backlash on the toxic platform, he deleted his tweet to placate an overly sensitive fan base that will bully a woman off this app in a moment's notice, but can't take one single tweet mocking their fetishizing of Flippy Floppers and imaginary star ratings. Can world peace be too far behind? Word on the street is Braun Strowman got heat from WWE because of his antics. Good! What's he even doing in WWE? All I want for Christmas is for Braun Strowman to join AEW. AEW spent so much time leaning into the importance of work rate and professional wrestling that they don't have any hot heels, just a bunch of great wrestlers. There really aren't any true villains whom their fan base viscerally hates. Sammy Guevara is close, but he had to end his engagement and fight with his coworkers backstage to get there. Despicable heels are what drive a pro wrestling company. A lot of ex-WWE guys have come to AEW, but they're never treated like the enemy. They're always embraced by AEW fans as displaced indie darlings who spent one too many SmackDowns in catering. Ex-WWE guys in AEW are the rescue dogs of wrestling. They're a dime a dozen in AEW at this point. But tell me, out of the 30 or so ex-WWE stars to come to AEW, how many of them have truly stuck it to Vince past their initial promo when they swore they were gonna stick it to Vince? Swerve in Our Glory, maybe? FTR? That's like a one hot album every 10-year average. Braun Strowman wouldn't be another basic sob story from WWE looking for an opportunity. He wouldn't be a rescue. He'd be reviled in AEW and booed in ways that nobody in All Friends Wrestling gets booed. Braun Strowman in AEW might be the most hated man in all of wrestling, and whatever Flippy Flopper White Knight stands up to him will be embraced as a hero. With MJF flirting with the babyface turn, AEW needs heels, and they need them bad. And nobody would be a bigger heel to that fan base than the monster among marks. Did Braun Strowman trigger you too? Who's your favorite Flippy Flopper? Mine's Ray Phoenix. Tell me in the comments!